Greetings to everybody. We are here for the fifth Zoom party. Uh, Esteemed colleagues are together with us. I should start with Tsuyoshi Akiyama, the president of World Federation for Mental Health. Welcome among us. And Driss Moussaoui and David Baron, our SEED group supporters. Well, what would you like to say for the opening, dear Professor Akiyama?
Thank you very much, Bülent. Uh, good, good morning, probably for most of you. Welcome to the fifth Zoom party of Seed in MH. Um, I express my special thanks to Professor Brent Koskin for um, organize for organizing this outstanding Zoom party now for fifth year. Um, Blend is a conscientious clinician, respected researcher, and a highly committed international mental health activity leader. But for me, the best trait of Blend is his faith in the future. Blend had a strong belief in future generations. I understand beside the world leaders, there are a number of future generation participants in this party. And it is all thanks to Blend. Thank you. The theme of this year's World Mental Health Day, access to services, mental health in catastrophes and emergencies, seems highly opportune to the current global situation. The world news reports countless catastrophes and emergencies. How are these catastrophes and emergencies affecting the mental health of human beings? Is there sufficient access to services to sustain, if not improve, mental health? The World Federation for Mental Health, WFMH, remains committed to improving mental health. To tackle the global issues, the WFMH needs to collaborate with its global partners. Today, you are learning from this party. It would be wonderful if the WFMH could find a way to reach and collaborate with you tomorrow. Thank you very much, and please enjoy this wonderful party. Thank you, Brent.
Thank you. Thank you for being among us. You have, I know, a very heavy schedule, but you have spared some time for us. Thank you. And dear colleagues, with your permission, I would like to give the floor to David Barron, where it is 3 o'clock in the morning, but he still comes to our meeting as always he does. David, what would you say in this very early time of the day or very late time of the day?
Well, thank you, Bulan. And Yoshi, thank you so much for not only your leadership with the World Federation, but your ongoing leadership in the World Psychiatric Association. I think the thing that would be important for all of us, the future leaders, which, as Yoshi said, Bulan has been a champion for many decades now, and those of us who have had an opportunity to share what we believe is important in promoting mental health globally, but understanding the reality of the limited resources. Not only are we involved in catastrophes and climate and wars and a variety of human-made and natural-made disasters, but we all know that the most significant pain and suffering comes not from the physical wounds, but from the emotional and mental wounds. The impact that has on the current generation, but on generations to come who are living through this. I believe now is the time that we need to acknowledge that we will likely never have the type of resources that we would really want to have. More trained psychiatrists, psychologists, social workers. But that doesn't mean that we've lost this battle against allowing people around the globe to have their highest quality of life. I believe, and what I'd like for us to discuss today is the opportunity to make the most of what we currently have, not to stop striving to train future generation of leaders, of which many are on this call today, but how can we focus our energies on maximizing opportunities within the community? Boulan, we got to know each other many, many years ago when he was providing leadership in Turkey after natural disasters. And he shared with me many times the stories of people from all over the world who would come in to study the effects of the disaster on mental health of the people within the community. They would do their studies and then leave, collect their grants. And I think this is something that we really need to focus on. We obviously want to embrace the importance of evidence-based treatment. But through leaders like Yoshi and Boulant and our dear friend Driss on the call as well, all longtime leaders in mental health, I believe we need to focus our energies at a community base. What's available within the community? How can we share our wisdom with teachers, with politicians, with ordinary people, citizens, to mobilize them to address the needs of mental health within the community and around the globe? I'd like to throw out something I hope we can discuss during today's session and party, and that's this idea of lifestyle psychiatry, which is growing in popularity, although it's not that new. But these 6 pillars, and why I think this is so important is because it does not require the top academicians, the top researchers from all over the world to come in. It really focuses on issues that can be addressed at a community level, organized by those of us who have interest in this, training people within the community on how we can promote a positive mental health approach, not just focusing on psychopathology, which we obviously can and do as trained mental health professionals, but focusing on what we can do to promote a higher quality of life through resources that already exist, but through education and training people. So I think we have a daunting challenge, but an exciting one, because I sometimes get fearful that if our goal is to just train enough psychiatrists to have one in every city or one for every 100,000, it's a goal we might never achieve, and that can be frustrating. But I believe through the leadership that we have now and the leadership that is coming up from those of you who have joined us on the call today and your colleagues, that we can make a commitment to take mental health to the community level, focusing on lifestyle issues, focusing on the things that we know will promote a higher quality of life, regardless of how dire the situation might be in an area of a catastrophe or war. We've all seen the horrors of that. And I hope we can focus on the positive aspect of taking this horrible situation and making it better. And if we make it better and we can improve the quality of life even a little bit, I think we can have individuals feel proud and happy and move forward in a way that the world can be a better place, which I believe all of us is at the heart of what we are trying to do. Thanks so much, and I look forward to the rest of the party, even though it's quite early in the morning for me, but I want to thank you all for allowing me a few minutes to share, and thanks to our current leaders for all they've done, And special thanks to our future leaders who are making the commitment to make a difference.
Thank you so much, David. I know you couldn't open your video because you are probably in your bed. And with you, I wish you to get well very soon and be among us. Thank you so much for your comments, for your words. May we listen to Driss, who is a very, very serious senior, sorry, seriously senior colleague. What would you say, dear Driss?
Thank you, dear Bulent, for your kind words and for the invitation. I think David said it all. I mean, it was a very, very nice summary, and I would like to thank him for that. Organizing a meeting about mental health once a year is important, but in fact, it should be every day of every year that we speak to the community and to mental health workers and to health workers about mental health. It is so essential. We all know what WHO used to say, there is no health without mental health. And I remember somebody who said mental health is at least half of health, at least. And it is intertwined with all aspects of health and medicine. And as David said, we will never have enough psychiatrists, mental health workers to address all the mental disorders existing in the world. People do not even know they have a depression. They do not even know they have an anxiety disorder. And when they know, there's nobody around to help. And there are beautiful things done in low and middle income countries, training people in the community to address this suffering and to help. For example, there is a psychiatrist in Zimbabwe who invented a concept that is splendid, that is friendship benches. And in the village, in rural areas, you have 2 or 3 wise, old, senior people who sit near a bench. And everybody knows in the community that that bench, when somebody sits there, this means I need to be listened to, I have problems. They take them away and listen to them and talk to them and see how they can solve the problems that are stress-inducing mental problems for them. And usually, at least half or 2/3 of the problems are solved. And as David Byrne said, we need to use every single availability in the community, being mental, social, family, every single tool could be used to help people first to reinforce their mental health. Because the more people are happy, the less they will be mentally ill. Very clear. So promoting a good lifestyle and a good mental health prevents mental disorders from coming. And uh, families are not enough used all over the world. Friends are not enough used. The ministries of health in the world do not do enough to inform people about symptoms, evolution, about possibilities of uh, preventing mental disorders to happen on media, on social media. We do not do that enough, and ministries of health have a huge responsibility on that. They do that for cancer. They do that for cardiovascular diseases. They don't do it for mental disorders. Uh, a little bit, I have seen some of it uh, recently in France on TV. If you feel that you are in trouble, ask for help. But this is the first time I see that. And in my country, I was interviewed yesterday by a radio station from Morocco. And I said, this is very easy to do and very helpful. One last thing, extremely important, and I know that David Barron is interested in this, and some other friends as well. Physical activity, sport, is so extremely important for mental health, and not enough put forward for people to know that sport, physical activity, is something that prevents mental disorders from happening and that improves mental health at large. Well, I think we will be able to discuss about that. If you have questions, I will be glad to answer.
Thank you. Thank you very much. You have been sharing with us your wisdom. We have a lot of participants, but many of them do not open their camera. Anyway, I hope they will be with us with their faces seen. We have a very young colleague among us, Ahmet Acar. We were planning to lead this meeting together with him. Ahmet, what would you like to say for the start?
Firstly, I would like to thank everyone for making time for this meeting because this is, I mean, I'm not as professional as some of my teachers here, but I think this is such a great opportunity and such a great meeting that basically it gives us purpose at some point because especially in Turkey, the medical students only have like one purpose. That's the basically get good grades, basically skip the grade. That's the only purpose. Get good grades, graduate, find a job. And that is the like biggest reason why people get into medical basically sector because they could get a job there. So especially with these kind of events, we could basically teach our young, especially like me, young colleagues that they could do a lot more with their medical stuff. They could do a lot more in the medical sector. They could do a lot more. They could enlighten a lot of people with their speech. They could do so much more with these kind of things. But they don't want to do that. They don't care. It's like, so we should try to basically make them care, make them try to teach them how to care about these stuffs. So these kind of events, I think, basically support that a lot. So thank you for everyone basically coming.
Thank you, Ahmed. We have different colleagues from different young colleagues from different places. Well, before coming to a common discussion, Janet, what would you like to say for the beginning? Thank you for being with us. Fred is also with us, and we have Irem, Mifide, some other friends without showing their faces. David, we see you now. Thank you. Janet, we are listening to you here.
Hello, all. Thank you so much for the invite. I'm really honored to be here for this meeting. This is my first time attending a SEED meeting. And I have been told by my seniors that the World Psychiatric Association also holds meetings and there exists an organization, SEED. But you reached out to me, and it was really an honor for me. Basically, I have found myself to be very attracted to psychiatry because I have seen things around me, which obviously, with the help of a psychiatrist, they could have a lot of tragedies, a lot of things in my personal life could have been prevented by early intervention by a professional mental health worker. But things don't always go as they should, and the world is not ideal. So, seeing people around me and being able to identify where the issue lies and seeing that those things around me, it really inspired me to join psychiatry. I am a fourth year medical student for now. I am considering psychiatry, but sometimes there are a lot of loopholes in this field. I think I'm going into the specifics, but then again, there's a lot to talk about when you are when you are invited to talk about something. Uh, Basically, it's that I'm just in the phase of exploring how these things work. I'm quite junior as compared to you guys. I'm literally a baby when it comes to being in a medical school in this field. So I'm hoping to learn from all of you and to hear your thoughts on this, and hoping to see things from a different perspectives, inshallah.
Excuse me. Thank you so much, Janet. Maybe we can hear more through the meeting through the party, let me say, about activities in Pakistan, especially Socrates program. Uh, well, we have one of the founders of our seed group, Eugene, among us. Before going to the other young colleagues, may I ask Eugene if you would like to say anything for today's Zoom party?
Just warm welcome. I came in a bit late, but warm welcome to everyone. I think this is our fifth or sixth. No, sorry, sixth, right?
Fifth. We
Fifth.
have
This is the fifth. This is the fifth Zoom party that we actually have been organizing already every year, and year in year out, it's very nice to always see people attending, and year in year out, it seems always great to get support from all sorts of all the experts and all the uh pretty much. I know when I'm saying this, it sounds a bit awkward, but the seniors above me, those the well experienced other psychiatrists across the international to join us. And it's always great to see young medical students actually jumping into this. Some of here, I believe I've known you even since when you were a medical student, and now you are a registrar yourself already. I'm not going to comment much. I like this year's team. This year's team is very apt in our current chaotic world. Our world now who's currently in a mess in a lot of places. And I think that the theme for this year is really appropriate. And it does address a lot of things. And hopefully with this Zoom party and with the discussions we have with current teams, we'll be able to open up more discussions and more talks, and even hopefully more knowledge and more exposures to similar teams then. I'm not going to say too much again. With further ado, I'll just hand that back to Bulan. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thanks. Thank you very much. We have some presentations, some ideas to share with the group. Maybe Zeynep could start with that. Zeynep, welcome. She has been in an exam, but asked for being sent out to this room. Could you tell how you managed that, Zeynep?
Manage with what?
You managed to be among us. You have had your exam, and now you are with
Yes,
us.
I passed.
You passed. Congratulations.
I'm so happy about it. It's my 6 years, and it was my last exam.
Oh, that's great. You will be missing exams. But don't worry, you will have, life is an exam. Don't worry, you will be in your exams continuously.
Thank you, Eugene. Can I start my presentation, Professor? I
Please.
can't hear you. Huh?
Yes, please.
I've never done this before, actually. Sorry if I do something wrong. Hmm.
Everything is nice, fine.
You know that this year's theme is about the catastrophe. Access to services, mental health in catastrophe, an emergency. In every breaking news alert, we see same pictures: collapsed buildings, flooded streets, families searching for food and shelter. Uh, but there's a second disaster that no camera can capture: the quiet storm inside the mind. This World Mental Health Day 2025 carries a warning. Survival is not only about breath and heartbeat, it's about memory, meaning, and the fragile chemistry of the human mind. Uh, what do what do we mean by mental health? According to World Health Organization, mental health is a state of well-being that allows us to cope with life stress, realize our abilities, learn, work, and contribute to our communities. It is not simply the absence of illness. It is the foundation of every dream, every relationship, every act of courage. At any given moment, a web of factors, family bonds, community supports, economic security protects or undermines this balance. Now imagine that balance shattered overnight, an earthquake in the dead of night, a war that forces millions to flee, emergencies to more than destroyed homes, they up the mind's ability to feel safe. Um, Nearly 1 in 5 people exposed to disaster may develop um, post-traumatic stress, anxiety, depression, bipolar disorder, or schizophrenia. Um, Emergencies do more than destroy homes; they up and the mind ability to feel safe. Um, 1 in 5 people exposed to disaster may develop. That is not a distant static. It could be the person standing beside you. World Health Organization research reveals that almost all people affected by emergencies experience psychological physical distress, and roughly 22% develop a diagnosable mental condition. Yet, mental health systems are fragile everywhere. A global median of only 13 mental health workers per 100,000 people, dropping to just 2 in low-income countries. When a flood washes away hospitals or a war empties clinics, care collapses entirely. In Pakistan, 2022 floods, less than 1% relief funding reach mental health services. These are not mere funding gaps. They are lives left untreated. Why does help fail to reach those in need? The barriers are layered. Infrastructures crumbles, roads are cut off, medication supply chains break. The World Federation for Mental Health calls for urgent protection of these frontline heroes. Yet, there is hope to prove that action works. After the 2015 Nepal earthquake, community counseling programs cut untreated depression rate in half within a year. And Sri Lanka, the 2004 tsunami sparked a mental health reform so sweeping that every district now has services where only a third them had before. These successes shows that when mental health is treated as an emergency service, recovery is faster and lives are saved. Consider the rest themselves. Firefighters digging through rubble, nurses in overcrowded fight hospitals, aid workers comforting grieving families. They carry images they cannot erase. Without proper support, many develop depression, anxiety, or burnout. Protecting their mental health is not only compassion, it is essential to sustain disaster response itself. This year's theme, Access to Services, Mental Health in Catastrophes and Emergencies, is more than a slogan. It is a demand. Governments must include mental health support in every disaster plan, fund training in psychological first aid, and guarantee continuity of medication for chronic conditions. The United Nations and World Health Organization urge nations to invest at least 5% of health budgets in mental health and to integrate care into primary health systems. Because the next crisis is not a question of if, but when. Behind every collapsed building is a fragile human spirit. Survival is not enough. The mind deserves rescue too. On this World Mental Health Day 2025, let this be our promise. No one should face catastrophe alone, not in body, not in mind.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Will you stop sharing?
Okay.
Thank you. Well, you have made a good presentation and you have touched some hard issues. What about coming to a, a bit of music? Ahmet, would you like to share with us what Ramin had to do, would do, or had done in the early years? We have our group increases. How nice. We have Mariana among us as well. We can see Dave, Mifide, and maybe later we may have some other musical uh, performances as well. Ahmet, are you ready to share with us what you have?
Yes. Firstly, I'd like to thank Ramin because in the past years he had a performance of musical performance and they were great. In this year, our faculty's music club's president Serhat had a piece which he talked about, especially catastrophes. It's Turkish. I translated the piece, so now Bülent, Professor Coşkun will share it with you.
I thought you would share it. Should I? Should I do that?
I could do it as well,
Yeah, if you can, please go ahead.
but I'm not a host right now, so I have to be a host.
You are a common host, all right? And after the music, please prepare your questions, your remarks. We have our senior colleagues among us. We can ask, we can have questions directed to them, especially David is still with us. Dres is with us. And later, maybe Ramin may share some piece of performances.
Uh, Teacher, I'm just trying to
Yeah,
load
okay.
the video.
And there was the WPA activity in Prague, which lasted 3 or 4 days. Yeah, are you ready now?
Yes, trying to.
Yeah, later we
If
can
I
hear.
if I share my screen, would the audio come with it?
You can share. You can't?
I can share my screen,
Yeah,
yes.
please do so. We will later listen to Janet as well about her presentation.
Uh, uh, I lost my host status right now. I don't know why.
In the meantime, we have some young graduates among us. We may hear them as well. Ramin is one of them. Müfide is another one. Irem is also among us. They were students, but now graduates.
And hopefully will become psychiatrists.
Excuse me?
And hopefully they'll become psychiatrists too. The
Yeah.
pressure is on them.
I think there is. Ah, I was sharing this. Oh, start. Yes. I think right now I'm sharing, right?
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Savaş alanında bıçakları biledik arkada. Sorduk gardiyana, ölüm ne zaman acaba? Bu şekilsiz dünyada savaşlar bitmiyor. Bir annenin kucağında masum bir çocuk yatıyor. Savaş alanında bıçakları biledik arkada. Sorduk gardiyana, ölüm ne zaman acaba? Bu şekilsiz dünyada savaşlar bitmiyor. Bir annenin kucağında masum bir çocuk yatıyor. Bir nefes olsa fazladan neler vermeyecek insanlar var. Bir nefes bile göremedim şu hayatta. İçimde kara tüneller var. İçimde dediğin gibi sen bir canavar. Siniri insanlara bir nefes bile hak etmedim mi söyle. O sensiz neden olsun yüzünde bile kimseye minnet eylemeyen, nefesini hak etmeyen insanlar.
So nice.
Thank you everyone for listening this piece by Serhat.
Yeah. Ahmet, you know, could you share your thoughts about what Serhat has done?
I think Serhat tried to mention in this song mostly wars, that the catastrophe topic, especially in the verse of the song that he said, "In the mother's arms, there's always a child sleeping." In the war zone, the most affected is always the children because they don't know what is going on, and they're basically mostly affected by the mental health situation about the war as well. So I think that is very valuable that he mentioned that in the song.
You're right. You're right. We keep talking about the worst parts of catastrophes, but there is also maybe while going through our session, we may come to some questions which our young colleagues, students had prepared earlier. But before coming to that, we may also underline the fact that if we look through a broader perspective, our daily experiences may be considered as catastrophes or preceding events for catastrophes or emergencies. We may also discuss on this. We have some other presentations, I know, but halfway senior and young colleague has attended our meeting, Mariana. Mariana, would you like to say some of your observations? You were in the World Congress. How were things over there? And now you are the section chair of psychiatric education, which is a good way for our young colleagues. What would you like to share with us?
Yeah, no, thank you so much, Blumen, for organizing this Zoom party in the World Mental Health Day. And thank you all for presenting your slides and your comments. I was just recently attending the World Congress of Psychiatry, as Bulent mentioned, in Prague. And there was a lot of discussion about how the local can inspire the global, and that the universal is the local without walls. So all our locals are our day-to-day lives, our day-to-day stressors, our day-to-day opportunities and resources. But at the same time, there's something around the universal that combines us all, and how easy that we can learn from each other, how easy that we can collaborate with one another. So I think it was very interesting, these discussions. There were also actually a lot of sessions with medical students. The previous president of the World Psychiatric Association, Professor Afzal Javed, he has been very supportive towards medical students. And I'm aware that there was one session that was specifically focusing on his program that he set up, that the room was full and there were a lot of medical students. So it's so good that these initiatives to support medical students to attend international congresses and to join association are occurring and being supported in the association. I think about the slides that were being shared, I think it's very important for us to think about what's happening in the world and the different stressors and the different traumas that different people are facing and others aren't facing, and how we in some sides of the world are privileged and we are not facing the same stressors, but also our responsibility to help each other and to support one another and advocate for peace. And so I'll stop here.
Thank you. Well, maybe we can hear from you later some other observations or some other contributions. At this point, I would like to talk about a meeting which we had in our local area. I am living in Kocaeli, a province which is about 100 kilometers to the east of Istanbul. And in our meeting, we talked about the collaboration between different forces, between different sectors. I showed this with them. Well, I would like to share it with you, if I can. I hope I will. In fact, the governor of this province was with us, which is indeed an important activity, which made it an important activity because all the others were with us as well. I mean, the other powers in the city, in the province. I think you see this. You may have seen this in other places. We can also use this in our discussions. We are all, we can symbolize, think of symbolizing all these boxes as different sectors, disciplines, people, groups, whatever. If we are in our own boxes, we stay like this. But if in a few, I mean, in some time, after having some time, the walls are ready to be broken. We struggle and come together. But before coming to the last phase, maybe, there will be a great chaotic situation. Then comes this, where when we collaborate all together, we can succeed much better. As we start with this, go through two chaotic situations and come to the result. But of course, we should also not forget, we should keep in our mind that it's not always easy to be like this. While on the real realities of the world continues, we sometimes come back to chaotic situations, as today our world is in. We hear that there are some talking activities about Gaza war. But I wonder if this is going to come about or this will continue more. Anyway, let me come back to our place. We have, as I said earlier, we have a lot of questions to ask our senior members, but we have lots of friends also, young friends, with their videos or cameras closed. Please open your cameras and be with us. Who would like to take the floor and say a few things? Dilara, I think you are ready to say something. Is that so?
Hi, hello for everyone. If you want, I can ask something. I got,
Please.
yeah, okay. What skills beyond clinical knowledge and experience would you recommend a medical student interested in psychiatry to develop? Maybe
Yeah.
I can start with this one.
Well, very, very nice indeed. Dilara is a student from Ankara. And would you like to repeat your question, please?
Yeah, sure. What skills beyond clinical knowledge and experience would you recommend a medical student interested in psychiatric to develop?
Well, dear seniors or dear young colleagues, we all have something to say. Yeah, please, Driss, please.
Question is extremely important. What we said and we continue to say is the importance of the social and family environment. Somebody is healthy because family is healthy, because society is healthy. And if the family is doing bad, this impacts on every single member of the family. If society is depressed and doing bad, it will impact negatively the mental health of everybody. Therefore, I think every single actor, not only psychiatrists, but especially psychiatrists and mental health workers should be must be involved one way or another in making the society going towards a better health. I'm talking about civil society. A democratic country, a country with a number of political parties, good governance, good parliament, and so on and so forth, is something that helps everybody feel secure and part of the game. Just to inform you that in the 13th century, 12th, 13th century, in Oxford University, there was a parliament of students. So what I'm talking about is not only something new, it always existed. And in the past centuries, in some tribes in Morocco, you had a kind of parliament, people discussing exactly like in Athens, with the agora, and with the people who could talk among themselves about their problems, express themselves, and find solutions. So we must, I think, and I have done since my early 20s, when I was a medical student, and I still do it now. Whenever I can help doing things for Moroccan society to be in a better mood, with a better functioning, I do it because I think this is what all medical doctors should do, and especially in psychiatry and mental health. Now I have two other things about catastrophes and disasters. I would like to congratulate Ahmed. You say Ahmed, and we say Ahmed. That child, innocent child in the hands of the mother, sleeping, while there are terrible things happening around. Just to remind you that a few studies were conducted, longitudinal studies, showing that pregnant mothers who were in the middle of war, bombarded, the 20 years later, there is a significant increase of the possibility of having schizophrenia for the child. So it has an impact on the pregnant mother, it has an impact on the brain of the fetus as well. And of course, there are a number of things. The stress, bombardment, the war, but also malnutrition, and so on and so forth. So this is to say that this is a long-term effect. And it is also transgenerational. It goes from one generation to another. There was something that was said about the people who help. And I can tell you a story, a personal story that happened to me in 1993, when an ATR plane crashed in Morocco with 42 people who died during that crash because the pilot crashed voluntarily the plane. He was mentally ill. He was an addict to a number of substances. And as you know about Germanwings plane, we had the same tragedy there. And I was the psychiatrist who was designated as expert for that case. And I heard the black box, the audio of the black box. There was the pilot who tried to crash the plane, the co-pilot who was a woman who tried to balance the movements of the pilot, and telling him, "What are you doing? Please, don't do that. What are you doing? Please, please, please." And the shouting immediately before the crash was terrible. And during weeks, I was awakened at 2, 3 a.m. I sleep very well usually. That's one of the blessings of God for me. I'm 76 and I sleep 9 hours perfectly. But I was every night awake with the shouting of the co-pilot in my ears. I had a PTSD. And that lasted for 1.5 months or 2 months or something like that. And that was annoying. Not, I mean, it disappeared, but it was, no, this is to say, and we will have the World Congress of Psychotherapy in New York next June. It will be in the United Nations place in New York. And it will be co-organized with the group of 200 or 300 people working with the UN for disasters and catastrophes. And one of their main requests is, please help us in order for us to help the people in need of that. So it's an essential thing to keep in mind. Helping members of families when they have very heavy, serious mental patients at home, and helping the people at large who are in help of others. So it's a whole chain of help and aid.
I'd like to address the question, which I think is a very good one. I think the most important thing for a student interested that will almost guarantee your success moving forward is your passion for the work that you do. Whether it's a passion to develop the next medication, the next form of therapy, to engage in the community, there are so many aspects of our field. What makes psychiatry such a beautiful field is we impact on how patients think, feel, and behave. I think the single most important piece of advice I could share with any of my students, and some of them, like Eugene, go on to become national leaders. We had we get a chance to work together, but find the passion within psychiatry, that find the thing that makes you happy, that makes you feel fulfilled. Like, I'm happy I chose to become a doctor and become a psychiatrist. There are always challenges, there are always frustrations, but I think when we start to lose that passion, when we start to be thinking about, am I burned out? That's not a good place to be. We see a lot about burnout. I, in fact, was able to just develop a new screener for burnout that we're using now in 9 countries and in 7 languages. Hopefully, some of you will join our team. Eugene is a member of this emerging team. But I think this idea, and I can't stress this enough for the students, be passionate about what you do for yourself, not for your teachers, not for your family, but within your own mind, that you can feel good about, I'm fighting a good fight. This ongoing war against being happy, feeling fulfilled, not achieving the highest quality of life. So for all of the students, and there is no one right answer. The right answer is the one that creates a genuine passion within you to succeed, to contribute, and to feel good about what you're doing. I think if you can do that, I feel so blessed. Like Driss, I've been in the field and Boulant a very long time, and I can say in all honesty, I'm at least as passionate, if not more now, than the day I started my career back in the early 1970s. That's a blessing, that's a gift, and that's a gift that we could give ourselves.
Thanks a lot for these two contributions. Dilara, have you got your answer? Or is there anyone else who would like to add? Eugene?
I suppose I could add a bit more. Again, this is in line with the current theme for this year in terms of mental health emergencies and also disasters. I've been involved with multiple disasters within the country, not internationally, but at least within Malaysia itself. And we tend to be deployed in groups of psychiatrists. And I could tell you time and time again, this is what we would see. There will be two groups of psychiatrists who would have very different reactions towards what's being helped. There will be one that would not be affected at all by the disaster, who is able to be a doctor. And there will be the other one who potentially might not be doing clinical stuff. It's just as simple as going to the streets to ask, how could we help you? What could be done? And go on to do a few more other things in line with psychological first aid training. That second group often comes back having sleepless nights and some nightmares. But that second group of psychiatrists is also the ones that are potentially going to do the most or being able to help the most while within a disaster point. And what separates these two groups, and I think this is the answer to your question earlier, is that at the end of the day, aside from clinic, anyone can learn clinical skills, anyone can learn theory. Remembering that we are human, remembering that we are compassionate, remembering that we are still very in touch with human experience is one of the key things that all doctors should hold on, more so within a psychiatry context, because we are working with day-to-day human experiences, and if we somehow sanitize it and remove the human component out of it, forgetting that people have feelings, forgetting about things like empathy, forgetting that there isn't a real need for human connections, pretty much like what Zena presented just now also, the whole idea about human connections, that would make you a worse doctor if you don't have any of that. The whole idea of keep remembering at the end of the day, we are still humans and we still need to be connected as humans. I hope that this answer will kind of help you there also. All right, thank you.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Any other questions or answers?
Hello, do you hear me?
Yeah, please.
Hello. Actually, I'm 100% agree with Eugene and our other professors. And when I was in the college, when I was a medical student, I really wanted to be a psychiatrist, and I was really interested in this field. But after my graduation, I changed my mind. I'm still really interested in psychiatry and the field of psychiatry, but I wanted to work in another field, and unfortunately, I didn't end up being a psychiatrist. And next month, I start my cardiology residency in Turkey. But after my graduation from medical school last year, I had the chance to work in the field as a doctor, as a primary physician. And I made a mere observation, and I had a realization that the people we are treating, they are not machines. They are human beings with feelings, with thoughts, and we should approach them like that. And when I was working as a doctor, I tried my best to emphasize with the patients and their relatives, and I want to show them sympathy. And I saw that they were all grateful and they were all happy, and it is very important to consider humans as a whole. And last week, I happened to be with one of the most famous OBGYNs in my city, and I was with him when he was examining a patient, and this patient was a young woman on her in her early 20s, and she was pregnant with twins in her second trimester, and she was crying. She was really stressed. And he examined her, and he said with a mechanical voice that we won't be able to save the twins. There will be abortus. He didn't even make an eye contact. She was crying. He didn't show sympathy. He didn't say anything to relieve her. He didn't explain the situation. Yeah, maybe he's the best on his field on paper, but I don't think he was a good doctor. I don't think he didn't understand the feelings and needs of our patients. And since I decided to be a cardiologist, I went silent on the group too. But then suddenly I regretted it because mental health isn't a thing only for the psychiatrist or professional mental health providers. It's a field that every doctor, not every doctor, but every person work and care about it. So, and I tell myself that, yeah, maybe I want to be a good doctor, I want to do everything right, but the key is to understand the feelings and the mental health of the patient. And when I was starting the medical school, my mom made me give her a promise that uh, you will see your patients as human beings, and you will care about their feelings and mental health at first, and you will show some sympathy no matter what. And I will try to be a good doctor. Maybe I won't be a psychiatrist, but I will always put the mental health of my patients first. So I think it is very important point. And that's the practice I want to pursue. And during the catastrophes and war times, I haven't actually prepared a speech, but I think that yes, the people who suffer from wars and catastrophes, they need clean water, food, um, dress, shelters too. But the most important thing is they need good mental health, and we see them as human beings, not only the victim of war, but individuals who have feelings and thoughts. So I think that matters. That was everything I wanted to share. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Mifide. You may remember that the name of our group is Students, Education, Empowerment, and Development in Mental Health, not in psychiatry. So, being a cardiologist is a very good example. You could be a surgeon, whatever you be, but first of all, as you have said, you are planning to be a good doctor, as your mother advised you. So thank you very much for sharing all these observations. And maybe we always think about wars or natural disasters, but think about the feelings of when we think about the feelings of that mother. That's a catastrophe for her. Okay, thank you very much. And we have Rachel Jenkins, our dear friend among us. Welcome, Rachel.
Thank
Ahmet,
you, Bülent. Sorry to be late.
no, you're always in time. Thank you. Ahmet, you were asking for the floor. Please, what are you going to say?
I would like to add a little bit to Mfide's speech, especially about basically doctors not caring about the mental health of their patients. Because a lot of people in Turkey that, like I said, when they go to the medical sector, like trying to become doctors, they don't do it for they don't do it for the love of the game, because they don't like being doctor. They just do it because it's a safe, secure job. So that's, I think, one of the main reasons that why they don't care about the mental health of patients. They just care about the paycheck, especially like the new ones that are coming to medical school. Like, I'm gonna talk about my experiences, especially in my class. Like, 60% of the people didn't want to be a doctor. I mean, I would love to be an engineer. Like, I wanted to be an engineer, couldn't become a doctor. I'm one of the examples of that as well. But I meet with the psychiatry. I learned psychiatry. I learned mental health. So I changed a little bit about this topic. So we could maybe try to change a lot of, especially young people, about this caring about the patient, caring about the patient's mental health. We could maybe teach them, because if we don't teach them when they're young, they're not going to understand when they're old. So I think we should teach them, especially early stages of the medical school.
Thanks a lot. But is it only in Turkey, or we have colleagues from different countries? Fred, would you like to say a few things? How are things for medical students in Africa? It's so nice to have you among us, by the way.
Morocco is in Africa as well.
Sure. All right.
Okay, it's really a privilege to be in part of this platform. This is great from Africa Festival. Actually, pleasure being to be discussing to do with mental health. The medical student, it's really important because the way people take medicine or medical school or the way students get it, it's really a lot. Because we all need like to do today, go with it and becoming part of business and family. Work is really important. Work. Yeah, you have to do something.
May I suggest that he stops his video in order to have a better audio, because I hear nothing about what he said.
Thank you. We had difficulty in hearing what you said, Fred. You may close your camera, and then maybe we, as Driss says, we may hear you better.
Okay.
Could you repeat what you said?
Professor Joshkin, I think Dr. Fred may write his message because we cannot understand his speech.
Okay, that's also
I know
another
for the
idea.
difficulties. He could write on the chat though.
Okay. While he is going to write
Not
on,
audible?
is that okay for you, Fred?
I didn't get what you said.
Well, it's better if you write on chat, suggested our friend Ahmed.
But now we can hear him, so I think the problem is fixed itself.
Am I a bit audible now?
Better now, better.
Yeah, as I said, it's really a privilege and a pleasure being this kind of platform, a community where you get to engage and share things concerning about mental health, because it's really important for a long run as a medical student and as a doctor as well, to really have it in place intact, because it's kind of sometimes you stress out and a lot of stuff, and you really have to have the mental state being in place. So it's really pleasure, and I would love to engage more and connect with more of you guys, the students and the senior colleagues as well. It's really a privilege. That's what I can say for a moment now. I'll get to interact more as we keep on with the meeting. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Mufide has underlined very important points. Would other graduates, Ramin, Irem, who were once our young medical students, now they are our young colleagues. Would you like to add anything or would you like to comment on those things?
Hi everyone. Well, I can't say I have much experience on the topic of disasters or catastrophes, but perhaps I can also offer uh, an answer to Dilara's question earlier. I would actually like to answer that question with an answer that was provided by Professor Sartorius in our first Zoom meeting, actually. Um, he mentioned that it was important for medical students to have an open-mindedness, especially if you're interested in pursuing psychiatry in the future. It is important for you to uh, firstly be a good doctor before you can become a good psychiatrist. And I think this was well reflected by what Mufide had mentioned, which is why I didn't immediately bring it up myself. Um, yeah, and this statement has actually stayed with me until now, which is why I'm sharing it with you now. So I think one important thing to bear in mind is to keep that level of open-mindedness and first become a good doctor or a good physician before you can become a good psychiatrist. But all the best to all the students in this uh, meeting. I think we have great potential for our future doctors.
Thank you. Yeah, please, Janet. Let's hear Janet Noor. Is it the proper way of pronouncing your name? Janet?
Yes,
Janet?
yes.
Please, let's listen to you.
That's the right pronunciation. We're on the topic of students and health, and Dr. Ramin also talked about humility. One thing I've noticed, you were asking about how the situation for students is in different countries, and some of you might not know I'm from Pakistan. So the situation here, in my opinion, is quite dire when it comes to student mental health or general population's mental health, because there's not a lot of focus. It has grown in the past few years, but before that, there was not ever a lot of focus on mental health. And since the advent of social media and media literacy, things have improved quite a lot, but still there's a lot of work left to do in our fields, in our society. So we were on the topic of student mental health, and I mentioned that it's a very dire situation here. What I've noticed in physicians here in Pakistan, just like Mufide mentioned right now, the situation is quite similar. Diagnosis from a psychiatrist. So, as I mentioned before, a lot of trouble could be saved. I could have saved a lot of trouble by getting an early diagnosis. So, if I, as a person living in a university hospital with access to healthcare, good healthcare, can if my diagnosis is delayed so much, then I wonder how the general public is dealing with all of their issues and their ailments and their diseases. Uh, Still, I'd say that the thing with our facility, doctors don't really have that sort of to just earn a stable income. most people don't think about the implications of and the responsibility, the huge responsibility of this field. So we are hoping to raise awareness. We are hoping that things may improve in the future, and we are hoping that we be the ones that will bring.
Janet, I think similar to Fred, we had a difficulty in hearing your words. You may close your camera and summarize what you have said. Could you do that, please? Due to internet problems, maybe.
Oh, I'm really sorry. You could have told me before. What I was mentioning was that students, when it comes to mental health of the students, we mentioned in our discussion, the situation here in Pakistan is actually quite dire. A lot of people are not even aware that they have some mental illnesses. A lot of people are not ready to accept it, then it comes down to the awareness of mental ailments in our society. And even in the general population, the thing not really that good. And I think is that the doctors in our society, in our sector, whether it be psychiatrists, whether it be general physicians or any specialists, lack the humility to understand the patient and to show empathy to the patient, which then results in these kind of issues here.
Thank you. Thank you very much. You are right. Before being a psychiatrist, we must be aware of being a good physician. Or being a good physician or a doctor, we may first underline being a good or understanding human being. That's the starting point, actually.
Yes, exactly.
Thank you. Since we have our dear senior member, Rachel, would you like to share some of your experiences or some of your observations, dear Rachel?
Good morning, everybody. Thank you. I found it very interesting listening to the others who've spoken just now. Um, I I agree that one needs to be a good physician before you can be a good psychiatrist. And I think picking up on what the students have been saying, you need to be a good general physician before you can be any kind of specialist, really, not just in psychiatry. And all too often now people are so specialized, they only know about their particular subject and don't know about the others. So cross-cutting conditions get missed or not properly addressed properly. I remember when my father was having a knee operation and he hemorrhaged in the bed, and the consultant surgeon told me, well, he didn't understand pharmacology and couldn't be expected to. And of course, you need to know if you're giving a patient too much heparin or warfarin or whatever. So I think the generalist point is crucial. The other thing I wanted to pick up on is we say it all the time, but I think it's terribly important. It's the need to be biopsychosocial, to be able to think simultaneously in the three dimensions of physical, psychological, and social. And it applies to every patient you see, whether it's in a psychiatric clinic or a diabetic clinic or any. And that if we can train our students to be thinking in that way throughout their medical career, then they'll get a much better understanding of whatever condition it is that they're seeing in front of them. And I think it's a prerequisite for being a good psychiatrist. And I think it's certainly true that psychiatrists have to remain general physicians as well. You have to be alert to the continuing physical problems. And we all have to be, as it were, catching the social causes and social consequences of whatever conditions we're seeing. So I think at the moment, those are the 2 points I'd like to make, Bulent, but come back later.
Thank you so much. Yeah, who wants to contribute? Ramin, I turn back to you. Bartu is also with us. Ramin, you being a graduate, but being among the SEED members since the beginning, may have a lot of things to share with this group.
I think I don't have more to say than the rest of the members of this discussion today. But perhaps I can, if it's all right with everyone, I actually have an old musical recording that might actually fit the theme of this year's World Mental Health Day. If it's all right with everyone, I would like to share. It's just one short song.
Great. That would be great.
Yeah.
Let's listen to whatever you are going to share with us.
All right. Could you please make me the co-host?
Haven't I? Excuse me.
And maybe while we are setting the co-host situation up, I'll just give a brief overview or an idea of why. All right. Basically, this song is a cover of the song "Zombie" by the Cranberries. This was recorded a few years ago with a friend of mine. Unfortunately, I've been unable to record a new cover this year. I really wanted to, but was occupied with work. So I'll just be sharing this old recording of this song. And this song was released in 1993, I believe. And they released this song in response to some bouts of terrorism that were going on in Ireland at the time. I believe it was the same year. There were some bombings and there were some innocent people. There were children who got killed. And they made this song as a response to those terrorist acts. So bearing that in mind, maybe we can have a listen to the song and maybe get some additional insight. So let me just share my screen. Okay, can everyone see the screen?
Dr. Joshkun, may I share my thoughts after the presentation?
Let's first listen to Ramin's presentation, then yours, Bartu.
Right. Is the screen clear? Could you all see?
Yeah.
All right.
Another headache slowly, Chinese slowly they do. And the violence caused such silence, who are we mistaken? But you see, it's not me, it's not my family. In your head, they are fighting with their tanks and their bombs and their bombs and their guns. In your head, the same old deed since 1916. In your head, there's the fighting with their tanks and their bombs and their bombs and their guns. In your head, they are dying. In your head, zombie, zombie, zombie. What's in your head? In your head, zombie, zombie,
Let me respawn in Rome.
Great. Thank you very much, Ramin. You have brought light to our saddening views.
Yeah, I think this song was more of a response. I think it is kind of fitting with the state of the world right now as well. It's a response towards people who are willing to commit these acts of violence or terrorism. They are basically zombies, heartless, not considering the human um, existence as a whole. Yeah, just thinking about their own personal gain. So
Thank you. Yeah, may we hear Bartu now if he is okay?
Hello, everyone. First of all, thank you so much for organizing this event, both for group and Professor Joshkun, to you at first. I have been trying to attend many events as I possible for a long time, and I am so happy and proud to be part of this group. I am glad to be here. There were many informative and thought-provoking seminars and talks. I hope there are many more to come. I believe we need more comprehensive and detailed audits and studies on the mental health of both mental health professionals and other physicians or medical doctors. When working on projects that concern the public, mental health professionals should first ensure that they themselves have good mental health, as they can be guiding light in this regard. There are many examples of such shortcomings in Turkey. We need comprehensive policies on this issue. Despite everything, to best students, there are some good examples also, both in world and our country. I wanted to say this because maybe the talk importantly and also other colleges. And finally, the song performances, compositions, and lyrics were wonderful. It was very, I felt like I'm in heaven for a short time. Congratulations for your all words. Thank you.
Thanks. Yeah, this is a party. Part of the party is enriched by musical performances. We may also have other kind of contributions, whoever wants to. We are having friends joining us, and also some colleagues having to leave. Anyway, who would like to say a few more things? Zeynep, are you going to add a few things?
Actually, important things about to say. I said that in my presentation. I think it can be our slogan. Saving body is not enough. We have to save our minds too. And our behaviors as a doctors is important to need help from us.
Thanks. Janet says something. Would you like to say that, Janet?
I was wondering if I could do my Socrates presentation because I'll then have to leave for prayers.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for being with us.
I was saying, I was wondering if I can do my presentation of our society Socrates.
Please, please, please.
All right. Let me just, you'll have to accept my request to share my screen.
All right.
When I came to my college, I am in Ayub Medical College in Ahmedabad. When I first came to this college, I met up with a few seniors, and they told me about this whole thing that a year ago they had founded a society, a student-based society running for the awareness of students' mental health, and I was quite interested in that. Always been. So I joined that society, and along the way, somewhere, I became the president of that society. So this is the PPT that my friends, my juniors, have prepared for us. Is my screen visible to you guys?
Not yet, I think.
I think I'll have to close my camera and then it might come up. Is it visible now?
I'm afraid not. Share. Yes, it is. We can see it.
Okay. So
now we are going to listen to.
Is it visible now?
It is. It is. Thank you. We are ready
Yes.
to listen.
So I don't know how to full screen it. I'm not sure yet. I think.
You may continue like this if you like.
Okay, okay. Yeah, that is good to know because I am new to these things. So, this society called Socrates, we might all know Socrates as a Greek philosopher, but for now, in IU Medical College, Socrates is the cool society of the bougie kids, as they like to call us, because we're always talking about mental health and we're talking about counseling and rehabilitation and art therapies and stuff like that. And we're often told by our colleagues and our seniors that we are the bougie kids of the college. So this is the student organization for counseling, rehabilitation, art therapy, education, and support. And we do all of this because at the end of the day, all of these factors lead and create an atmosphere that that creates your mental environment. So it exists with the the need for Socrates came because we realized that our field, MBBS, it comes with MBBS is the bachelor's degree for medicine, as we call it in Pakistan. It comes with a lot of pressure, and it comes with a lot of stress, and there are things that are beyond our control. Most of us are living away from our homes for the first time, and there are a lot of new people that we have to deal with, and all of that creates a lot of uh, anxiety in students. And we felt that we should provide a safe space for students to share what they feel with us, and that is why we created Socrates. So basically, things that we do, we arrange mental health camps, we arrange awareness campaigns, we organize therapy sessions for students. Mini therapy sessions, they're short, they're easy to do, and everybody enjoys them. We'll talk about these a bit later. We visit local schools and local colleges, and we visit community centers where we talk about these things, because then again, there's a lot of lack of awareness in our society. We have discussion circles and we talk about things, and we collaborate with other students, other colleges, and we collaborate on conferences when it comes to mental health. And one of the very famous things that we do in our Socrates, it's a signature Socrates event, is a balloon therapy, which I'll talk about a bit later. So in art therapy, we do things like we make cards. This is a photo from one of our art therapy activities called Burn Your Fears, where we gave students a bunch of pens and papers, and we told them to write their fears on that paper. And then we got candles, and we made them burn those fears in the candles so that they could be. It's a symbolic expression of relieving yourself from your fears and from your anxieties. And whenever we conduct any such activity, students are very interested in these things, and they really love these things, because symbolism then again is a very human and very it's a very human thing to experience, and it gives them a factor of relatability. When it comes to it builds a community among students. We have our open mics where we select topics. We have weekly open mics and weekly art therapies where we talk about things. It is, I think, open mic is where you really express yourself without any fear of judgment. Most of the times we don't really have our teachers around when it comes to open mics, and we do these in our lecture halls with students, and senior and junior students. Everybody sits together and we select a topic, and we tell them beforehand that this is the topic we're going to select, we're going to talk about. And then all of us, we get together and we talk about those things. And when you get to hear people talking about something that you yourself have experienced, there comes a solidarity with all of this. We visit schools and seminars, and we visit people and we talk about these things, at the thing about awareness, and we let people ask questions if they have any. Last year we conducted a national student mental health conference, and it was the first student mental health conference in Pakistan. And it was a very huge event. It was a 3 day event, and people from all over Pakistan came to our college, and we had a very learning. It was a huge learning experience for us. Renowned psychiatrists and psychologists came, and religious scholars, they also came, and everybody discussed their thoughts on mental health and the stigma around mental health and the challenges we face as a society when it comes to coping with these things. We also celebrate our World Mental Health Day every year. We're gonna have it yet tomorrow, and I'll have to do the same presentation again there. Um, During our World Mental Health Day, we again talk about the same things, but this event is basically focused on physicians and doctors and surgeons who want to learn how these things work. We have in our college a mentorship program where we mentor students when it comes to their educational and academic life, and then again, academic life and personal life if they want to share something, if they want any kind of advice, if they want any kind of support. And recently, I think this thing is not mentioned in our presentation, but we started this program of counseling where we would assign one-on-one counseling to students by our psychologists that we have linked with Socrates. And we've also conducted a workshop recently in August. I was the one organizing that workshop about active listening, where we could teach our students, irrespective of the field they're going to be in. We taught them how to be good listeners, how to be active listeners, and how to have empathy for others, which, just as we just discussed it, that this thing is very essential as physicians for everybody, to be a good listener, to be a good uh, to be having empathy. So this is what we taught them, and now we're going to start a complete program where we will register psychologists and student listeners with our society, and we will give and any student who needs any psychiatric or psychological help or just needs a listener, we will link those two people, and it will be free of cost, and it will be um, uh, free of cost, as well as it will be but anonymous, so nobody will have to worry about the stigma as well, even though our job is to reduce the stigma. But for now, we know that things cannot always be ideal, so if anybody wants that they remain anonymous, we do that as well. These people are our seniors who laid the foundation of the society. This is Dr. Ali Amir Khan, Dr. Muiz, and Ismail Khalid. This is the gallery of our events, of our workshops, and our National Mental Health Conference. These are from our conference. These photos are from our conference. This is the art therapy that we handle every week. And this is the balloon therapy. I don't know where the photo is. I'm not sure where the photo is, but I'll see if I can find it for you guys. So, balloon therapy is basically something that we give balloons, the helium balloons, to our students, and then we let them attach sticky notes on the balloons with their thoughts, with something they want to let go of, with their secrets, or just about anything that they want to share with the world. And we let them write these things on sticky notes, and then we paste them on the balloons, and then we all of us we gather in an arena or in an open space where we let the balloons go loose. And it's a very famous and very well loved activity of Socrates, and it's something that is a signature activity. So this is our small meager effort to raise awareness, to help other students, and to talk about things that really matter. Thank you very much for listening to this presentation.
We thank you a lot, dear Janet. How nice things you have been doing. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Please convey our best wishes, best regards to your colleagues.
I will. Thank you so much.
And we would like to have other members as well in SEED.
We were hoping to get them involved in SEED, but we have our exams really close, and most of the students are very busy in the preparations of the exams. So they excused. I did invite them, but they excused me, and they told me to excuse them for you as well, and to convey their best wishes to you.
Thank you. Thank you. We usually have our monthly meetings on the second or third Saturdays of the months. Maybe in our next meeting we can be together with your friends. I understand, Dris, Musawi is going to leave in a few minutes. Before he goes, does he want to say anything else, or does anyone in the call want to ask anything to him?
I would like to say two things.
Please.
The first one is about what Mufida said. Mufida in Arabic means the useful person. And it's great for a doctor, medical doctor or psychiatrist to be useful. As Jannat, you know that, means heavens or something like that, paradise. I mean, good to know the meaning of one's. Musawi means, by the way, the one who belongs to Moses in Arabic. And anyway, Mufida said that her mother said, you have to be human. The mother was an excellent teacher, and Mufida was a very good student. She remembers that. The second thing she said is that we need to be as human as possible with the others, with the patients, with the families. This is true. The only thing is that even the most ethical person may have times where they make, or he or she makes mistakes. It reminds me of 1979, 1980. I was 30, 31, just became head of the Department of Psychiatry in Casablanca, Morocco. And I had two of my students, medical students, who came to me with the mother. With their mother saying there is something wrong with memory and things like that. And it was very clear, absolutely clear, that this was, we called it at that time dementia. It was not Alzheimer's disease as we know it today, with a number of symptoms. And I went symptom after symptom, symptom after symptom, and then the mother was not talking, was not speaking French. I spoke to the two students, the daughters, and I said, your mother has dementia. Goodness, it was a disaster. What I did was terrible because I was talking to the students and I did not think that I was talking to the daughters of their mother. It was a mistake. So one has to be extremely careful all the time of every single word we do, every single action we do, every single behavior we have. And even the most saint of all of us is visited by the devil 7 times a day. That was a saying of my mother, who was a good teacher as well. So this is to say one has to be very, very, very careful all the time, all the time. The second thing I wanted to do is to tell you that in Marrakesh, in Morocco, we will have from 15th to 17th of January, next January, the 25th World Congress of Social Psychiatry. And this will be a very important moment. What we talked about all the way long during these 2 hours, that was mostly social psychiatry. So if you are interested by social psychiatry, if you are interested by Marrakesh, that is a beautiful city, please come.
Let me say, inshallah.
Inshallah.
Thank you. Thank you.
All the best. All right.
Thank you. And we have Ingrid Daniels among us. Welcome, Ingrid. So
Thank
nice.
you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for being with us. She is a past president of World Federation for Mental Health, and she had been our guest in one of our intergenerational meetings where she shared very important paths, and I had requested her, if possible, she could give a summary of what she shared with us earlier. Uh, if if you can, we are ready to listen to you, Ingrid.
Thank you very much. Good morning or good afternoon. I'm not sure where in the world you are, but it's good to be here on World Mental Health Day. And I just want to wish you all well. It's a day where the global world comes together to talk about mental health. So please permit me to share then. I will share my presentation with you. And as Professor said, I'm going to, it's a summarized version. Ahmed, it's good to see you again. So I have presented this, and Ahmed has been privy to obviously to the presentation, but I hope I have summarized it sufficiently. So it's really such an honor again to be. I think this is the second Zoom party that I'm able to present at. And, it's World Mental Health Day. And so we do want to commemorate. There's a lot happening globally today regarding World Mental Health Day. But in fact, we want mental health to be spoken about every day because it's such a critical issue. So I thought I'd just give you a little bit of background information without going into too much detail. But the World Mental Health Day was established way back in 1992. In fact, the 10th of October. That's why the 10th of October is the day that is used to commemorate World Mental Health Day. And since then, it has been observed every year with the aim of raising awareness about critical mental health agendas and issues across the world through collaboration with various partners to take action, and most of all, to create lasting change and impact. And so over the years, this day has gained momentum, becoming the platform for governments, organizations, and individuals to really advocate and develop initiatives that will give us more scalability, but also to create the platforms for advocacy. So this year, the theme chosen by the World Federation for Mental Health is access to services, mental health in catastrophes and emergencies. And my, oh my, have we seen emergencies and catastrophes across the world? The wars in Gaza, in Congo, in Sudan, in Ukraine. That's just the few that I'm highlighting. So quite a serious theme. And when I spoke to Professor Koskin, we looked at what would we focus on today. And so the focus we'd like to look at is child and youth mental health. And so against the backdrop of this theme, I have to ask, is there an emergency? So to start off, UNICEF in 2025, so very recently, said that today's children are growing up in a world that is complex and fast changing, and I think we have to agree. The combination of challenges presented by climate change, ongoing conflicts, wars, digital transformation, demographic transitions have now been termed a polycrisis that our children and young people face. The World Health Organization, as early as 2020, during the COVID-19, stated that children and adolescents have been exposed to multiple risk factors that predispose them to mental health conditions. The more risks, as we know, adolescents and children are exposed to, the greater the propensity and potential for their mental health to be impacted and affected. A quick stats, just to remind us of what the current situation is for our children. And these are very recent data that has been launched and given to us by the World Health Organization. And they stated that in 2021, around 7% of the world's children aged 5 to 9 years and 14% of the world's adolescents 10 to 19 years live with a mental health condition. Overall, a third of mental disorders present in adulthood have developed by the age of 14 years old. Let me repeat, a third of mental disorders or conditions present in adulthood are developed by the age of 14. Half appear by the age of 18 and nearly 2/3 by the age of 25 years. Let's talk suicide. In both males and females, suicide is a major cause of concern because of the high rate of suicide and death amongst young people. Lives that could have been saved. In 2021, it was the second lead cause of death in 15 to 29-year-old females, and the third lead cause of death in males, in fact, also 15 to 29 years old. Overall, it accounts for 8% of all deaths in this age group. Very concerning. So I have to ask, is there an emergency? The lack of investment in prioritizing child and adolescent mental health and the lack of resources for this population within a very fragile public health system, often in many countries, perpetuates the crisis. The World Health Organization in 2020 stated that the lack of access to mental health and untreated mental disorders in children and adolescents have consequences for adolescent mental health conditions extending into adulthood, and I think the statistics I presented speaks to that, impairing both physical and mental health and limiting opportunities for them to lead fulfilling lives. The treatment gap is large, as we know. 50% of people with mental disorders in high-income countries, 50% have no access to treatment, while 85% of mental disorders in low and middle-income countries receive no treatment. In some parts of my country, I'm from South Africa, it could be as high as 90%. So this treatment gap is significant for this particular age group that I'm focusing on. You know, it's very interesting that governments, if you look at the health spend on mental health, on average, only 2% of budgets are spent on mental health. And when you break that down further, more than half of the mental health expenditure in low middle income countries, and I would go as far as saying high income countries, are spent on psychiatric hospitals, in facility, infrastructure, on the staff. Very little is spent on community-based mental health, and fewer than, obviously, 1 in 10 people, 9%, with a major depressive disorder have estimated to receive minimal adequate treatment globally. The situation becomes more stark when you look at this age group, 15 to 19 years old. Based on the World Health Organization's recent Mental Health Today stats indicate that less than 5% of this age group with depression globally, and they receive minimal treatment. So again, I ask, is there an emergency, a mental health emergency for this particular age group? Hunt et al. In 2018 argues that there should be an increased focus and investment on child and adolescent mental health and well-being. This investment should start long before the diagnosis. So programs at school level, junior school level, early identification. This includes the obligation to promote well-being and optimal development of children and adolescents. A substantial portion of adult mental health, as I've already indicated, conditions have its origins in childhood. Early intervention therefore becomes critical to reduce the chances of children developing mental disorders later in their lives. So I think we have to agree that investment in mental health and social safety nets for our children and adolescents need to be urgently prioritized to reduce the suffering and to pave a more hopeful future for millions of our children and young people globally. The South African Child Gauge in 2021 made a very important statement based on a study they did back home here. And they said, and I think we know this, that the costs of not intervening to better support children and families are huge. And when we fail an individual child, the lifetime and generational impact is felt at a social level. Investing early becomes a moral imperative and perhaps the best economic investment that can be made in the generational health of our society. It offers an opportunity to break the cycle of poverty, violence, and mental ill health, and unleash children's potential when we do actually invest. So, UNICEF 2023 says ensuring mental health and well-being in adolescents' formative years can foster much better transition from childhood to adulthood. The crisis will persist, sadly, if we continue to underinvest in this age group and this category of population that I'm talking about. Under-resourcing of child and adolescent mental health, unfortunately, does not assist us to mitigate against the problem that children and adolescents face. Every day, one of my favorite quotes, I just have to say this because it's so powerful, and it's by Nos, who says, every day in 100 ways our children ask, do you see me? Do you hear me? Do I matter? Their behavior often reflects our responses. Let me say that again. Every day in 100 ways our children ask, do you see me? Do you hear me? And do I matter? So there can be no doubt that mental health of children and adolescents and young people is every nation's responsibility. And no child and young person should be left behind in our quest to address this crisis and what I think is definitely an emergency. Nelson Mandela said, our children are the rock on which our futures will be built. Our greatest asset as a nation happens to be our children, and that's all nations. They will be leaders of our country, the creators of our national wealth, those who will care for and protect our people. It was Valentina Baltach who said, of the World Health Organization, who said, it is time that adolescent mental health comes of age. Adolescent mental health is a smart investment. Not only will it improve health and survival in the short term, but it will bring benefit for future generations. I ask, is there an emergency? Thank you.
We thank you a lot. You have once more hit our heads by your repeating questions. It is an emergency. You are right. It is an emergency. And
Yes.
thank you. Thanks a lot. The number of participants go down. I'm glad we have been together more than 2 hours. before ending, before closing, I would like to ask our participants, I think, an important question. What can we do for future? We come together every World Mental Health Day. We come together on every special day. We talk, we close, we put a dot, we put a point, and it's finished. What we should do, what should we do to get something out of what we have discussed? After the first Zoom party in 2021, we decided to meet every month, and we have done that. We have had 45 intergenerational meetings, but again, in those meetings, the participants have decreased. We try to rationalize that there is an archive in our YouTube channel, and whenever somebody wants, he or she may go there and watch. But I think this is only to relieve ourselves. I'm afraid not much people, if not anybody, I may say, will go there. What should we do? Let me ask our young friends and senior colleagues. Janet, please.
May I speak?
Yeah.
Since you're talking about the decrease in number of participants over time, since we're on that topic, I think the best way as a person of Generation Z and seeing the trends of what keeps Generation Z and involved, Generation Z and both millennials involved in these things is when you challenge them, in my opinion. Like if you organize some kind of a competition, it could be a poetry writing competition, it could be a story writing competition, could be essay writing, it could be arts or anything like that, which gets which gives them an outlet to express them of people.
Thank you. It's a very good idea. Years ago, we had a slogan contest about mental health. It was in 2015 or 16. It was a global contest. Of course, participants were limited, but a contest may help. Today, Mariana reminded us that Dr. Afsal Javed has tried some similar challenging activities in WPA, but why not? We should do a similar thing here. Janet, please help us in organizing such activities. Will you?
Sure, why not? I can get my friends and my colleagues involved, and we can organize something like that soon.
Great, thank you. And before going to Rachel, Bartu, are you among us? Ahmet, are you among us? If not, I can ask Zeynep, what are your thoughts about how to suspend our activities, how to prolong some outcomes from these meetings? Yeah, Bartu and Ahmet are also with us. Zeynep, may we start with you? Then we can go to Rachel and Ingrid, our seniors.
I think Socrates have amazing ideas for that. Because I like the burning feeling or flying balloons. Like something everyone can contribute. I think um, we can um, we can have more people like that.
Then can I count you in also? Janet and Zeynep are the leaders of our future, near future. Great. I hope you will not say, well, it was an idea, but I have a lot of things to do. I'm afraid you are
I
going to be
I think
graduated.
no problem in future because I passed my exam.
This is another exam for you. Okay. Look,
About it actually.
I will try to catch you. Ahmed is in a library. He will not maybe be able to talk, but if you like, you can write, or Bartu may say a few things for near future.
For what kind of you said something mentioned about prolong and suspend, but I didn't understand completely. Can you repeat the question? Could you?
We criticize ourselves that we talk and finish there. In order to continue our activities, especially together with young colleagues, what can we do? Janet has suggested a very good idea. She said we need challenging. That's good. That's excellent. And Zeynep also gave good ideas. That was my question.
You are talking about routine, right? Routine events.
Yeah.
For not today.
Not today. Today, to implant maybe for future.
Maybe we can organize face-to-face events sometimes, and more symposiums, panels like you, because I know from my friends you did uh, what was the name? I don't remember, but you did some congress, FIV congress before the pandemic. Maybe we can do these events face to face, and uh, it will be more popular than today when you because of the popularity and count, you know. Mm, and on the other hand, what can we do? Sometimes maybe we can. mm, I should think about it. I will say later.
Thank you. Thank you. Ahmed says mobilizing no. What was that you said, Ahmed? Anyway.
For example, can I say
Please.
something? For example, it's my demand for World Psychiatric Association. You know, every year they announce scholarship to the WPA Congress uh, for scholarship and presentation of their articles. We can organize educations projects what can we do? Like being mentor or studying in groups. We can do this because a part of students are interested in something like that. For example, I attended to Professor Javed's organization in Istanbul, TPD, Turkey Psychiatric Associations Center. I came for this, and other students also can attend more often for these events or something like that.
I understand. You underline the importance of face-to-face activities. It may not be
Sometimes it cannot do face to face, but just seminars and panels maybe cannot be enough. I don't criticize it. I like them. I take lots of information from them. But as I mentioned, yes, educations, congress, because they also influence touristic program, maybe uh, all of us will come Kocaeli or Istanbul or another city, and we will do works.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I have found what Ahmed said. He says, I think mobilizing the members that are already in seed but does not contribute is harder than finding new members that are maybe more interested in seed. So my suggest would be sharing seed to more people. Well, we want that, but we can't succeed in I'm afraid we couldn't do that. Maybe you can try. May we ask the two seniors, Rachel, what are your thoughts and suggestions and advices?
Thank you, Bulent. First of all, I just want to take the opportunity to thank Ingrid for her splendid presentation, which was fantastic, terribly important. And I just wanted to raise 2 points, really. One was that it's important to remember the whole school approach to building up trust, resilience, communication, and so on in schools, which seems to be our most effective method, and working in low-income countries as well as the richer ones. So it was to kind of highlight that. And also, particularly today, to remember Gaza, because as I was getting up, I was listening to, I think it's a senior UN coordinator on the radio, saying he was talking about, we've got to get in food, electricity, etc., water supplies. But then he said it's crucial to get those schools up and running as fast as possible so that the children can be back in school and enveloped with love, care, and attention, and that's just so crucial. And that, our children spend much of their time in schools, so schools are really crucial setting. And that leads me to another point I wanted to make, which I thought might come up earlier, but didn't, in relation to what medical students need to be aware of. And it is exposure to all these different settings in life where mental health happens, as it were. So they're not just understanding a clinic situation, but they're thinking about mental health in schools, mental health in prisons, mental health on the street, as it were. So mental health in the workplace. So I think it's really helpful to get our students exposed to thinking multisectorally at an early stage. So now I'll come back to your point, Bulent, about what we should do now. And I think one of my thoughts is that you've tried so hard, Bulent, over the years, and I think one shouldn't be too hung up about on numbers. I think if you just influence one or two or three or four students in a wonderful way, that's a magnificent contribution to the world. So I don't think we should measure outcomes just by sheer numbers. I think it's the quality. And if a few people are inspired, and all of us senior people can remember the one or two occasions, one or two people who really inspired us and made a huge difference to our working lives afterwards. So so I think don't despair, as it were. Good things are already happening. I do like the idea of the students maybe contributing with ideas for challenges and so on. That would be really, really good. And maybe it should be a mixture of things, not just one idea, but have some challenges, have some times when you do what you normally do anyway, take a topic and we all think about a little contribution of it. Just keep doing different things. I don't think there is one magic answer. I know the students are very busy and they do have to get through their exams and so on. And there's the time regimes that we all struggle with as well to join in. I take the point about meeting in person being really good, and I know it's good, but there are lots of constraints about that, and particularly now when we worry about climate change, there's a carbon footprint cost to us all meeting in person in the way we used to do. So I think we should learn to treasure our Zoom contacts as well.
Thanks a lot. And thank you for caring about my depression, I may. Thank you. You are right. Reaching one or two people is not something to forget about. I think it's important. I hope we have touched a few people, a few young people. Thank you. Ingrid, may I turn to you?
Sure, thank you. Rachel, thank you so much for your very kind feedback. I really appreciate it. And I fully agree with you. School-based mental health programs are critical. We have 5 of those in Cape Town where I live, and also what our organization did. In my more intense lengthened presentation, I had a slide that I presented, and it said that schools are promising settings within which adolescents can receive interventions aimed at promoting mental health. So I absolutely agree with you, Rachel. It's such a you've got a captured audience, you've got young people, be it at primary school or senior school level. And I really believe that's where you deal with early intervention, prevention, and the whole school approach, which means that educators can also receive some support, mental health intervention. So absolutely underscore what you've just said. Turning to your question to us, Belinda, as to what else can you do? And I always like listening to the Gen Zs because it's, they have an understanding of what is required by young people today. And I agree that maybe there is a space where there could be possibly more interactive activities. So you have a topic and a theme, be it mental health at schools, for example. How do you design a poster, for a schools-based program? Something like that, I think, is very exciting, it's very creative, and it lends itself to making a contribution as well, because those posters can actually go into a school. So that's just one example. And then I know social media is always a good platform to create the awareness about what SEED is doing and to invite, and obviously that would be a virtual process that one would undergo, and hopefully reach more students to come on board and join the SEED meetings. But I have to agree with Rachel, every student whose life you impact on in this forum comes out of it richer and will tell others about what you're doing. And so the impact of that is quite huge. So please, I want to say to you that what you're doing is fantastic. It's really great. And the students' feedback today, I think, is also very encouraging. And there are things you could do to expand and extend and help bring more people on board, or students on board, I should say. But you're doing fantastic work, so just well done. Those are my contributions. I just wanted to share as well that, so I teach in Germany, as you know, on the inclusion and diversity course. And what I found that students really enjoyed was the breakaway discussions, the group discussions. And let's say they have to design a definition on inclusion and diversity in terms of race, gender, and disabilities. I have been amazed at the definitions that have come to the fore. They're even better than some of the definitions that we, see in articles. So, and the other thing that I've done with them was share a video. So there's lots of videos on YouTube around inclusion, for example. And I've seen they've presented videos that I've never seen before, but so impactful and quite amazing that I've continued to use their definitions as well as these video clips around inclusion and stories of people with lived experiences. So those are just some ideas. And I think, as one of the students said here, she'd be very happy to come on board and also assist. And I think maybe a social media post to advertise and keep it, you're probably doing it already, but, every 2 or 3 weeks, a post about the next SEED meeting and inviting students to come and really marketing the fantastic work that you are doing. So just well done. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Bartu, you had raised your hand, if I am not wrong. Yeah, please.
Yes, I want to add something also. In additionally, as I thought before, we can offer events with participation documents, certificate of participation. It's a marketing tactic, not with the cost, but define the works because they are important for CVs, For example, we can organize, you are professors, organize for seminars and panels to show their works and contribute. This can be help to widen of our works. Because we are international society and important society. Also reference letters is important for us, but these documents can be helpful for us.
Yeah, you are right. I'm pleased I had the honor of preparing some reference letters for some of our graduates from SEED. We have been working on this group, working together with this group more than 4 years. And as you can imagine, we have lots of graduates. Some of them are in psychiatry, and I'm very pleased what Müfide told, Müfida, or as Dres says, was so important. They don't need to be psychiatrists. We can't have all the groups composed of psychiatrists. We don't need that. First of all, as Rachel and Ingrid and the other colleagues have underlined. First, we need well-equipped physicians, and even back, well, human beings. First of all, we are at that point. Thank you. I think it's 2 hours, 42 minutes. We may come to a conclusion, or we may come to closing. What would you say before we close? Would you like to speak remarks, ending remarks? Janet, yes.
It was really nice meeting you all and getting together with you all and talking to you all about all of these things. Generally, I've always found myself very passionate about these things. So it's very nice to find like-minded individuals who actually make the effort to understand where the passion comes from. My internet's been a bit wobbly. I've been getting disconnected again and again, and there's it's time for the Jummah prayer as well. So I'd like to excuse myself, and it was a really good session, and I'm looking forward to seeing you all again soon.
Thank you. Another inshallah to you as well.
Inshallah, inshallah.
Yeah. I have no doubt all the members understand what inshallah means, no doubt. Well, any concluding remarks from you, Zeynep? Good luck for you in your coming future. Congratulations for being a graduate.
Thank you, Professor. It was my first Zoom party, and I really loved it.
Let it be not the first, not the last, let me say. Maybe, you can be with us whenever you like.
Okay, I will contribute in the future too.
And your presentation was really very useful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, last words or last comments from our dear friends, Rachel, Ingrid. I must thank you for being with us until this time.
I'll just say one thing that struck me, since it's the theme of World Mental Health Day, is what should we do in disaster situations? And it is just the key point that you should kick into action before the disaster happens. So should we be doing our education, our training and so on before the disasters, so that everybody's equipped when the disaster happens, because a disaster can come anywhere, anytime. And so it's too late to be rattling around afterwards. We need to have everybody aware of what their roles are, what the skills are that they need beforehand. So train.
I fully agree. Yes, I don't know if you were with us at that time. I mentioned a meeting we had, our local governor being with us in Kocaeli. And of course, the governors being at the meeting made all the other province directors stay with us until the end of the 2 or 3 hours meeting. And we have decided to come together every 2 or 3 months and to have some workshops on special activities of a certain province directorate, for example, health or national education or social services. I hope we can do that. And yeah.
Yeah, very important. Yeah.
Indeed. Ingrid, let's end with you.
Thank you very much. I just really want to say thank you again for the opportunity to share my thoughts and my real passion to make sure that we, provide mental health services to our children and our adolescents. As Rachel says, we have to start a lot earlier. The prevention work is critical. We need to be able to identify and support our learners and our children so much earlier. And I just really want to wish the students well with the all the activities that comes with academia, as your assignments, your exams, and I want to congratulate Zainab. I gather you graduating, so just well done. And the wonderful thing about SEED is that whether you decide to go and become a general practitioner or psychiatrist and you specialize, whatever your specialization is, mental health will always be a critical part of your medical services. So I just want to wish you well and also a wonderful World Mental Health Day to everyone.
Thanks a lot. By the way, since you mentioned seed, I have remembered what we had discussed with Tsuyoshi and also the new president-elect. What was her name?
Sabine.
Yeah, Sabine, yes.
Sabine. Yes.
I have suggested them to have a section. I mentioned it to you as well, I think, to have a section under WFMH working together with students, not only medical students, but also working with students on different disciplines in mental health or health. I hope we can succeed in that. I think Sabine will take over on November, and she said she is very much interested in this. Let's do that as well, because we are trying to reach medical students in SEED, but as I underlined when Müfide talked about it, it's not only for medical students. We say students' education, empowerment, and development in mental health. I'm very glad we have said that at the very beginning, not in psychiatry, but in mental health. So mental health is much broader than what we are doing in psychiatry, or maybe what people understand from psychiatry. Actually, psychiatry includes all the activities we are trying to work on. I remember today he was not with us, but Dr. Sartorius had once at a congress said, I don't want to talk about social psychiatry. There is nothing called social psychiatry. Psychiatry is a social topic. That is something I can't forget. Yes, so mental health, social mental health. There isn't a word like that. I think I suppose, but what we are trying to do, and what I hope we can infect our young colleagues about this. As Rachel says, it will be our future.
Bülent, if I could just mention that I'll be back on the World Federation for Mental Health's board. So what I could probably recommend is that you drop me an email sort of after November, once Sabine has been appointed, and I'll make sure that we recommend that there be a special section. So there are sections, women and mental health section, employment and mental health section. So there could be this section that you're referencing for students, mental health and students, so if you just drop me an email sort of after November once she's been appointed, and I'll make sure it goes onto the board agenda as well.
Great. Thank you. Thank you.
Perfect.
This is an outcome of the meeting. This is one of the outcomes of this meeting.
Yeah.
I have taken some photos during the meeting, but now let me take the last one. Bartu is also with us. Yes. Thank you all. Bartu, you were with us. You went away. Come on. Huh.
I am here. I
Yeah.
canceled my other my
Okay.
tablets platform
Okay.
because I am transport when I go another thing.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. It's 12:52 for us. We have 8 minutes to 3 hours, but this is enough. Let's stop here. It has been a really wonderful meeting. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you very much. Goodbye, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you very much,
Bye.
Bülent. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.